Hello guys, this is Gopi back with another video. In this video, we are going to discuss about a queue. In the last video, we were discussed deeply about what is a stack, how to add element into the stack, how to bring the data out of the stack and everything. Likewise, we are going to discuss about queue in here. I created one class called myQueue, and within here only we are going to demonstrate the queue purpose. First and foremost, we need to understand what is queue. As like stack, queue is also a data structure that helps you to store element. But the thing is, whatever the data that goes in first, that will eventually come out first. That's what the queue is. Queue works like first in, first out functionality. So whatever the data that goes into the queue first, that is the one that comes out first. As like stack, we do have only few methods in the queue, which is like to push any data into the queue, we will be using a method called enqueue. To remove any data from the queue, we will be using dequeue. Apart from this, we do have peek method, contain method, clear method. That's all. As like stack, queue is also quite similar. The only thing is the way that the queue going to work is something different from way that the stack going to work. That's it. So first and foremost, let me try to create the queue. Queue is a class that is available for both generic as well as non-generic type. First, I am going to create a non-generic queue class so that I can keep any data into it. New queue. So I have a object for the queue class, and then I can able to add a few data into the queue class by using enqueue method. This enqueue method let me add any number of data. First and foremost, as like the stack, let me add 1. Duplicate the line. Let me add 1. Duplicate the line. Let me change this to 2. So that's how the queue works. Okay. Now, how to print all the element from the queue? We can use for each to print all the element from the queue. Let me remove the collection with the queue and then print console.writeLine of item. Let me run the program. So here you can see I get the terminal output, but here 1, 1 and then the 2. As we expected, whatever the data that goes into the queue first, that comes out of the queue. Likewise, it got printed. So now you have a clear understanding of the difference between stack functionality and then the queue functionality. So we are done with this for each. Now we are going to learn about dequeue functionality. What is mean by enqueue? We are adding data into the queue. What is mean by dequeue? We are removing the first element from the queue. The difference between dequeue and a peek is nothing but dequeue remove the element from the queue. But peek will not remove, it always going to return you the first element of the queue. Let's demonstrate that by having a while loop. So this while loop will work till the queue have any data in it. So what I'm going to do is console.writeLine of as like stack, I can directly print queue dot dequeue functionality. And this method has the ability to return the first element in the queue and that get printed. Keep in mind, dequeue, remove the element and then returns it. Let me run the program by pressing F5 from the keyboard. Here you can see, as we expected, 1, 1, 2 got printed. But the thing is, the count will not be available. Dequeue method, removing the element. If I command this while loop, we don't need the while loop by the way. Let me remove this and then dequeue queue dot peek method. So as like the stack peek method, this queue peek method also going to return the beginning element from the queue. So here you can see I got 1, which means that's the first element available in the queue. So that's why it got returned and printed in the output screen. Now you know how the enqueue method works, dequeue method works, peek method works and then the contains method work. We do have one more method which is nothing but clear. This clear method helps you to clear all the element from the queue, which is not going to return any data, which by default clears it. Clear should have a capital C. That's it. This will clear it. Apart from this, we do have a count method as like the stack. That's how queue works. I'm not going to clear it. I just leave it as it is. Now, so far we discussed about the queue class, but we yet to discuss about the generic queue class. So let me have an integer here. Now you can see, right, I created the queue class of type integer, which is tightly bounded to the type integer. So if apart from integer, if I try to store any other data, obviously it will throw error. That's what the generics are, the type safety. So apart from this, all other things are same. That's all for this video. Let's meet in another video.